All right. So the purpose of this video is to shed some light on the honor stacking, which is going to happen in Classic. What a lot of rankers are used to on private servers is the following. So you got your 10 standings here, you got the honor here, and then you got the rank point gain here. So we got our first bracket, uh, standing 1, 2, and 3. They're trying to get as close an honor as possible, right? The number one guy is the benchmark, and that's the amount of honor that standing 2 and 3 are gonna try to get as close to as possible. If they manage that, then they get as close to 13,000 rank points, and that's what they want to achieve. And the similar thing is happening in the second bracket, where the standing number 4 in this example is the bracket leader, and his amount of honor, 381,000, is what bracket 2 is going to try to achieve, right? In order for them to secure as close to 12,000 rank points as possible. So this is the typical honor stacking situation that you have on private servers, and it works out because these high numbers is basically as well an outcome as you can get. Um, Unless you break the brackets, right? If you're in bracket 2, obviously you can get more than 12,000 by going into bracket 1, and that would let you get above the 12,000 limit. However, a reason why people choose not to over cap is because in order to get this amount of honor in the first place, you need to be playing um, like 10-hour plus a day. So by that time, you will probably be inclined to accept a proposition of, okay, guys, let's just not overfarm each other. We are ahead of everybody else who are trying to get to us. We are in the pre-mates. We're getting the most honor, and at this point, we're only continuing to play in order to prevent each other from overcapping us. So if we just agree to stop, hey, well then we got it. Then we don't have to play anymore. So this is why a lot of people, a lot of rankers are going to be willing to stack honor. There's always a couple here and there who will refuse. However, if you're in an excellent pre-made, these players typically can't catch you because by breaking the brackets, you eliminate the chance that you're going to be invited to the pre-mates, and so your ability to farm honor, sinks. So that means if you're not in the pre-made, you won't be able to catch these players here. So that's roughly the situation that you have on the ranking scene at the high ranks, stacking honor. However, um, the reason for this video is to shed some light on the fact that the calculation that is happening here is going to be slightly different in Classic, and it actually has quite a difference to the rank point gain that's going to be coming out. So this is what's going to happen in Classic if they do it like they did in vanilla, which is what we all expect, of course. So here you can see that on the private servers, you have the bracket breakpoint land on an individual player. And that allows everybody below that person to match that amount of honor. However, in vanilla, the bracket breakpoints are found between two existing honor values. And that means that for bracket 1, um, assuming that these players here are all stacked close to standing 1, and we're talking like less than 100 honor, nothing too much changes for them. However, you can see here that because the distance that these guys have towards this number is like close to 5,000 honor, they are getting much less um, rank points than they are getting over here. And it's not the fact that it's 5,000 honor, it could be 10,000 honor. That's not the point. The point is that, relatively speaking, they are further from this number than these guys are over here. Now, the bracket breakpoint below them also affects this calculation, and we'll get to that. But for now, simplified, the point is that because the bracket breakpoints land between two players, you're going to have to stack differently, right? If you stack the way that you're used to from private servers, then you screw bracket 2 completely. So there are some different, approaches that you can take to, try to squeeze more rank points out of such a system like we see over here. One thing you can do is to um, have the bottom guy in bracket 1, meaning standing 3, he stacks his honor as if he was in bracket 2. In doing so, he will make so that the bracket breakpoint between him and standing 4 is roughly the same amount of honor, right? And if that is achieved, then bracket 2 gets as close to 12,000 because the distance that they have to the bracket breakpoint would now be in a similar situation as we have over here. However, for that to happen, the guy here standing 3 will have to basically sink himself. All right, he instead of getting 12,900 whatever, he's gonna get a flat 12,000, right? So basically, in order to raise these guys' rank points by 450 each, he has to drop 1,000 for himself. So we're talking about a system where it used to be a win-win for everybody, but now we're getting to a situation where it is most people win, but some lose. And the fact that the guy who has more honor who will have to lose means that he is in a unique position to challenge that, right? He might feel like, hey, wait a minute, this is bullshit. I'm not gonna stack with them. I have a potential of getting 13,000. Then I'm not gonna fuck them, right? They're just gonna get whatever is left here. And then what you get is you get a little bit of combattery amongst the rankers because um, the fact that everything just doesn't just align like a rainbow means that okay, well, fuck it, he's not gonna stack with bracket 2, then why should we stack with bracket 2? Fuck it, we're just gonna take his spot, and then you got a whole shitstorm. So this all means that it's going to be a little bit harder for the social dynamics to play out in that people are not going to be as willing to just, team up and play nice with each other. And there's going to be a little bit more incentive for some free for all competition. You might see premates breaking up halfway through the week and say, okay, we're not gonna play with this guy. We don't feel like we trust him anymore. Things like that. It's gonna be a little bit more tricky. Regardless of anything else, there will be less rank points to go out in vanilla than we have been accustomed to on private servers. So now we're getting into the calculations for those who are interested in that. So here is a snapshot of a week that occurred back in 2006. So here we got July 21, 2006. We had a player, observe with an add-on the amount of honor that players were getting. Back then, that was called contribution points. So contribution points slash honor. That's the honor for the standing 1, and that's his rank point gain, and that's the rank point gain, and so forth and so on. So this is what I've put in here. So you can see, first of all, a thing we notice is that there is no player who is getting a flat 12,000 rank points. There's a guy with 12,075, and there's a guy with 11,900, and that is because the bracket breakpoint is between those two values here. The amount of honor that would yield 12,000 rank points is 315,000, and that's between those two numbers, right? So that's why they're getting slightly more and slightly less. So basically, we see that this private server system is a simplified version of the system, and the fact is that in vanilla it works slightly different. So as a ranker, you're gonna be, of course, you want to know how the system works so that you can try to maximize your gain. And so here you can pause the video if you like and take a look at these calculations. I promise it matches up. So that's the purpose of this video. Good luck to everybody who wants to re-ranking in Classic. See ya.